I'll just quickly kickstart the talk about Halcyon. Let me ask you a very stupid question to a HackerCon. How many of you have used Nmap? Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm talking to the right people. Alright, so this is actually an IDE for developing Nmap script engines. Just a brief introduction about myself. I work for a company called SecConsult, doing consulting services for application security, network securities, and whatnot. Also, I'm one of the co-founder and team moderator for Null Singapore chapters. It's like an open security community out there. So far, the largest security community in Singapore. Before I actually get into security, for almost 7 years, I used to do a lot of coding. So I used to be a developer. Then thought of like building something for the community. Right. So the idea of Halcyon started from nowhere. Actually, I initially wanted to build something for my own purposes because I used to develop a lot of Nmap scripts for internal pen testing purposes. To automate a lot of my routine donkey works, I wanted to actually build a lot of scripts for that. For example, running a bulk scan for Nmap and take screenshot of all HTTP services, or whatnot. Like we can actually figure out a lot of test cases for that. We spent a lot of time doing all these scans and doing all these manual testings, but these things actually could be automated. So, so this was actually one of my favorite evening coffee shop projects, and it took actually its own life after that. I named it Halcyon. That's how you pronounce it, and the more details are actually on the website. As I told that this is actually the first IDE for NSE development. It's a pure Java-based application, so it works very similar like how your regular web application Perf tool works. It's like jar file, duplicate. If you have JR installed, it'll just open up and build every environment for you. Now, another question is that how many of you have used NSE scripts? Alright, good. So if you notice that why do we need to develop NSE scripts? So far almost more than 1,000 NSE scripts are available in official Nmap repository, and there are a lot more coming up. I've actually noticed a lot of new vulnerabilities are coming up, especially after Project Zero have launched. New unknown vulnerabilities have reached, which doesn't have any specific signature as well as you don't find it in specific vulnerability scanners out there. Like it will be on the scanners, but probably a little later. But if you want to develop very quickly about these scan signature, it's the fastest way to develop in Nmap scripts. So, for example, if you know about a release of Heartbleed or Shellshock, these kind of vulnerabilities, these are like issues that got affected large internet systems. And we were waiting for official vulnerability scanners to release its signatures. Well, they released it quite fast, but we could actually get it done in the very next day when the vulnerability was released, because the scan signatures was quite transparent and it's very open to public. And also, if you are doing some specific scanning, especially on, for example, some IoT devices, which is not very common in internet, you would be able to build your own scan signature from it. So, in a very typical way, this is how an NSE file looks like, or an Nmap script engine looks like. They have a port rule. It's conditional based, which means that the script doesn't work if this condition doesn't satisfy. So when Nmap runs its scans, if it identifies like in this script, it's basically TCP 80 port open, which means that HTTP services are on, then the script actually executes. And this script is very simple. As the first program says, it's hello world. Alright. The official page is halcyon-ie.org. You will find all the details there. The current download of the website is 2.0. 2.1 is not yet published online, but it will be soon released after ROOTCON X. Right. So I'm just quickly showing you the features of Halcyon IDE, what it is capable of. Unlike like all other okay, so for like all other traditional IDEs, it also has syntax highlightations and automotive features, which is like a basic feature of all IDEs. So far the problem is that an IDE that understands Lua scripts or Lua syntax and map library formats. So far there is none. So this is so far the first IDE that understands Lua and map script syntaxes. And it's quite easy to configure because you obviously need to have Nmap installed in your systems, but it identifies where Nmap is installed and what versions, what are the class paths, and it takes all these informations and configures the IDs for you, like in the first scope. If you're building Nmap in a very specific path, it's not a default installation, but you're doing custom installation for Nmap. Obviously, the path will change, but you have also a feature to configure everything manually as well. It has its own code generator. I'll show you that in live. Often what I observed was when you develop scripts for specific technology, you tend to create a lot of scripts repeatedly. For example, if you want to do brute force engine is something that you repeatedly created. Or if you want to do a web spider, you want to create this code again and again for every type of scripts that you develop. Now these things can be like an auto-generated code. So what I built was, I've actually figured out all the libraries that could have been used for auto-generated code completion, and it's already there. So it's like a simple drag and drop. It makes you feel like a dummy tool that you just drag and drop and the whole code is there. And it's very easy to code. It's very easy to generate such kind of codes, and it saves you time a lot. All right, and also it has a feature that, of course, it's an IDE, so you can actually run the code from within the IDE, and you can debug it, you can find the errors, you can fix it within the IDE itself. Along with that, when you actually create an NSE script before, you would have noticed that when you create an NSE script, you will create any user path. But if you want to run the scripts as a part of your normal Nmap scans, it wouldn't run because it doesn't take any scripts outside its own script library path. So it has all these export script library options and database update options available within the IDE itself. That's the pre and post development options. And something that I'm coming up with version 2.1 is a built-in decoder, because sometimes you get some encoded strings in your response, and you would need to have a decoded option. So you don't want to actually go online and decode it. And it also has a scan diff. This is something that I actually got from some Nmap developers as a feedback, that sometimes they actually wanted to run scripts on same targets, like same scripts like twice, and find out the differences so that they can understand what's going wrong with the scripts. And it helps the developers to optimize the code quite faster. As I told in the beginning that I developed this whole IDs for myself, the initial look was like this, which I really hated. This is not really a professional ID look like. It's like a kind of a tool for dummy kind of tool. So I actually recoded the whole thing, and now this is how it looks like. Okay, I'll show you the script in live. I assume that it's visible at least, right? Okay, well, this is the IDE look like. This is the version 2.1. It has all the new features added. Now, I'm just creating a new script just in live, just to show you how easy it would be to write our own script. Okay, it's like normal create projects, and let me save it somewhere. The desktop, let's see, well, it has options for like ports and services. You can actually choose what's the target that you are selecting, and here I'm choosing maybe an port 80. just to show you an example here. But well, what happens is the script skeletons are quite different from services to services. So the port rules that you use for port number 80 wouldn't be matching port number 22 or any other port number. So it has slight differences. So I've actually added this template format, depends on the service that you choose. You have an option to select the categories. It's like a multi-selected. And you can actually select. Alright. Like once you create it, the whole skeleton is right there. So as we can actually see when the code showed up, you already have the syntax highlightation. So it basically tells you that if you are missing something wrong or something, it tells you what's wrong actually. Alright. Now, the one feature I want to actually show you is the code generator. This is what I was talking about. These whole libraries that could possibly be used as repetitive code. Like let's say brute force driver and engine. This is something that you can actually use again and again, right? Like in this case, I'm using an HTTP spider, so the whole code is right there, and you can actually find out that what you want to return back. Like in this case, I wanted to return back the URL list, which is the table of all URLs it crawled. Like usually in web application pen test, you would need to crawl the whole website and see every URLs and then penetrate into it. Depends on what test cases that you're performing. If you notice that it works like the same concept of other IDs. When you press the key combination of Control tab or Command tab, it basically do the auto completion for you. So you can see that these are the options that I have. Right. Okay. So I have these options for like the suggestions, that if it has multiple suggestions for you, it will list out that which is correct for you. Okay, I'm currently running it on a local system here. Now you have this option of settings. This is not the ID setting, but the scan settings rather. And map also has the scan settings. For every scans, you can find out what level of verbosity you want, or what is the debugging level that you want. So you can actually choose that. I'm choosing just verbosity. Sometimes you would need to actually pass some arguments with the scripts. Like for example, if you're doing a brute force attacks, you would need to actually pass a username and password list. So you can give script arguments here if it applies for your test case. Alright, I'm just quickly running the script and show you if it shows an error, then we can figure out that how we debug it within the ID. Okay, this is the result. If you see here, this is actually an nmap result, nmap output directly. And it shows that HTTP spider is not declared. And you can actually find out which line number it is and all the other debugging details. Yes, we are actually missing some libraries. I'll just quickly add that. Okay, here I'm using an STD NSC also. This is another standard library for NSC. I'll add that also to avoid another error. Okay, hopefully it works. Well, there you go. If you see here, my script is actually working because it's actually crawling the whole website URLs and listing out all the possible URLs in the website, right? Once the script is finished, you can actually use the same scan setting for all the other scripts that you're using. So this is like a multi-tab option that you can parallelly work on like different scripts at the same time. And once it is done, you have an option to actually export the script into the library, and you can update the script DB. So what it does basically, it copies the script wherever you have copied it once in the beginning into the script library, and it updates the nmap script DB. So in the future times, if you want to actually run scripts, it's more easy for you to pick up the scripts just from the nmap library itself. So some of the future works, I keep pushing more updates to Halcyon ID for sure. This is two things that I'm working currently. A report parser, because there are a lot of reporting options required. Converting the Nmap XML files to CSV format or an Excel format. A lot of things are required for pen testers to finally create a presentable report. And also a help wizard. Nmap actually has a very amazing NSC doc online. The only problem is that you need to specifically navigate to the specific library to read through the whole content. We are trying to figure out a way where the help wizard can be also used for learning purposes for newly added scripts. And if you have more ideas, if you are regularly using Nmap scripts engines, if you have more ideas, just show it to me. I'll work on that for sure. Right. Finally, I would like to actually thank all NSC developers who contributed so amazing scripts, and they still keep contributing it. Secondly, all the baristas out there, because it was completely done in my coffee shops near my home. So they keep feeding me good coffees out there. Right? Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, please.